So, Sheikh Muslim, what is the biggest puzzle you find in life? Amongst the people you're with, yourself, others. What is the most repetitive challenge?
Well, obviously many people have many challenges, and I get a lot of questions, not the least from the many school classes we receive at the mosque, mainly from college level. They come to, it's part of their religious education or whatever. But surprisingly often, or maybe not surprising, I don't know, but notably often, I get the question, what is the meaning of life? Or phrased in maybe slightly different words, but that is it.
That's brilliant. That's great. I mean, that's the universality. Yeah. And suffering and uncertainty and fear and sorrow. What's the meaning of life? Why? That's beautiful. That is the crux of it. Well, the answer I found that covers every flavor of this question is that there is this mysterious thing which we call life, or cosmic life, or the life giver, or God, or the source of life, whatever. There is this mysterious energy, reality, truth, light, whatever you call it. And from that, countless packages of, like a spark from a big fire, countless sparks have spread out, as far as we know on our earth, but there may be many, many, many other universes now. So I have one of those sparks, so have you, so has he. And they are all emanating from the same source. So they have the same potential in them. So as a baby, I have no idea about life, about who am I, who's my mother, but soon after a few weeks, consciousness begins to rise. Now, this is the mother came, this is the door banged. Naturally, the autonomic system, you're startled, it's not your conscious, or a wind or something, you cry. So you begin to develop and evolve so-called your consciousness. So by the time one is 1 or 2 or 3, the consciousness becomes more complex. This is a father, this is an uncle, this is a nice whatever, or this is a pleasant place. You begin to smell, you begin to touch, all of the senses begin to develop. And memory enhances that. This smell goes with that, with this, with this. So by the time one is in a teenager, you are fully conscious of what you like, what you don't like. So your consciousness, conditioned consciousness, personal consciousness, which is very much connected with culture, religion, climate, everything else, geography. So it is fairly well developed. And then by the time you are in your late teens, you begin to appreciate attraction and repulsion. I like this, I don't like that. You like that which is similar. You also like that which is very strange, equally. So the dark Brazilian likes a blonde Swede, and vice versa. But equally, a Brazilian likes a Brazilian. So I mean, familiar and the strange. Now this is, the secret lies in there. You like the familiar because your life is similar to life, familiar. And you like a strange so that you don't take it for granted. It's not your life. It's a spark of that cosmic fire or life. So it's both yours and not yours, because there is no you. This is where now reflectiveness, philosophy, spirituality, transcendence comes in. If you do not deliver, submit, connect, acknowledge your life inseparable from life, then you remain confused and you're all the time looking for new things to distract yourself or shut down yourself completely and become a recluse, because you have not accepted the truth that your life and cosmic life are not separate. And the trick was the baby seeing himself or herself distant from the mother. And that is how the spark of consciousness begins. So you end up in your mature age knowing that a clear mind is the best thing you can have, but a mind also is an obstacle towards completing of your acceptance of the entire cosmology. Acceptance. I translate Islam as acceptance, not submission, surrender, accepting. This is how it is. So the meaning of life is that there is something continuous, eternal, perpetual, not subject to any change, any shadows, any good or any bad. It is not the yin and the yang. It is beyond it. It's the origin of it. Balance, mizan, all of this is necessary for my survival. But they do not help me with my arrival. So the meaning of life is that there is this mysterious perpetuity which we allude to as having created paradise, which we all yearn for. In paradise there is no good or bad. Before you think of anything, if there is such a thing as thought, it's already been met. So there is perpetual, continuous contentment, which is the doorway to so-called happiness. So the purpose, the meaning, the direction of life is to rise in consciousness from conditioned consciousness, from temporary, changing consciousness to absolute, pure, cosmic consciousness. So you begin life developing your humanity, humanness, and your likes and your dislikes, and the good and the bad, which is, we all accept what is a good and what is bad, and what is durable good, durable, and so on. And therefore, with a bit of wisdom, we say, well, we must do that which is durably good for maximum living entities. And that's good, because we are all, each living entity is obsessed with life. So it must be, if anything is good for ongoingness of life, it's very good. That's all. We all want the same. Now, I'm so excited about the time we're living in, because the whole world now understands this. Now you can talk about one humanity, one thread of goodness, and what I call also the arc of consciousness. We all want to be more conscious, until such time you touch the quantum field of pure consciousness, from which every consciousness, that of the ant, of the lizard, of the lion, or the human, arises. So there are a whole spectrum of these touches of consciousness, all emanating from, if you like, cosmic consciousness, and giving rise to a bit of a personalization. It's my consciousness. This is my life. True. But where will it go when you die? Where was it before you came? It will continue. Now, the issue that religious people or world religions have addressed, but often it becomes a bit unclear, which I think the Quran actually has it clearest of all, is the hereafter. Because the Hindus have it also in many different ways, and from it arises the idea of reincarnation and accountability. Now, the Abrahamic tradition, I think, are more fortunate in that nothing is ever lost, nothing is ever forgotten. It leaves a trace. So, and you will see it as much as you were trying to avoid it now. What you wanted, what your inner intention was, you will face it. That is the, if you like, the Quranic description of accounts and left hand, right hand, and hell and fire. It's an aspect of purification. That you are here to discover that which is there, here, everywhere, and yet nowhere, because it's not catchable in space and time. So you are here for that. And if you don't do it, then you have wasted it. And you are accountable for that. All of the other things in life are distractions. Your career, your family, but they can be very good distractions. To watch your own baby grow, it's you. You're watching yourself because you didn't have a chance when you were, yourself, because not enough clarity of reflection. So to watch a child, they're the same. They develop more the sensory part, the taste, the touch, everything goes in the mouth. And then the sight, and then the hearing, and then the smell. So develops until early teens, and then coordinating of the incredible body mechanism. The slightest pain, you shout because you don't want discordance. Pain is discordance, disconnection. So you want connectedness, that means it's already connected. Whatever we want is already done. But we don't see it because we are on a special track. Whatever you want is already there. The goodness, kindness, beauty, majesty, and destructiveness has got both beauty and majesty. It's all there. It's happening all the time. So there is nothing. So therefore, we have to respect it. And in some of the older traditions, like including Jainism, said, do not touch anything. It's not. Just revere it. Really. It is doing its thing. And also, in our calculation, it's taken billions of years. So who are you to destroy it? Now we are beginning to have that consciousness of destructiveness, what we have done, what we are doing. Too much, too much, too much. So I think it's the most wonderful time we're living in. And as I said yesterday, I really feel the northern part of Europe, especially Scandinavia, will play a big and an important role in restoring the balance in a postmodern way. In that, don't deny yourself any of the comforts and ease, but flow with it. And don't change name, don't change religion, don't do anything, just witness, witness, witness. And my guide in that is the ayah describing the duty for anybody on the prophetic path. Inna arsalnaka shahidan. Witness, witness. And Muhammad often said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allahumma arini al-ashya'a kama hiya. Let me see things as they are. Witness, without my judgment. Witness, witness. Now, for someone like you who is very much involved also in teaching, my advice would have been, yes, do judge it. You can't but judge because you have already accumulated your value system. Judge it, this is not good, but then put it down and witness it. See if you can help it, if you can do something. So you cannot, it doesn't work. So don't judge. No, judge, but then stop. And then I'll see if there is anything sensible, wholesome, non-regrettable that you can do. So inna arsalnaka shahidan, to witness. Wa mubashiran, give them the good news. There is perfect cosmic governance. That's the purpose of life. To witness some perfection beyond my judgment of perfection. Really, that's what it is. And then after the good news that if you have not done this, you'll be depressed. That's the third part. Nadhiran, warn them. You'll be miserable, you will never be content, you will always be accusative, So if you are not content, and having realized that you, I, he, she, everybody under perfect governance, then you're not secure. And the earth we are in and the mind we have is completely given to uncertainties and insecurities. So you can't change that. You can sublimate. You can transcend it by saying, of course, I wasn't looking and it was slippery, I slipped and gravity takes place and I fell. So your inner smiles and your outer cries with pain. That's fine. Nadhiran, so warning. First give them the good news. You are not who you think you are, and there is perfect governance, whether we know it or not, within our own sphere of appreciation and beyond. And if you are not seeing that, then you are not seeing properly. You have not moved from sight to insight. You have not moved from earthly wisdom to spiritual wisdom. So that's the warning. وَدَاعِيًا إِلَى اللَّهِ بِإِذْنِهِ. Call people to this truth. If they can hear it, that is what it means, بِإِذْنِهِ. Idhn also means ear, if they have ears for it. If not, most people don't have the ear, it's clogged, blocked. وَسِرَاجٍ مُنِيرًا. And there is no one, as it happened with Muhammad so many times, وَتَرَكُوكَ قَائِمًا. Here he was trying to do the Jum'ah. And the caravan came from Medina, they all ran to buy, because they can buy better bargains. He said in the Quran, and they left you standing there doing your adhan. They run. They go for the immediate benefit. Everything we do is for benefit. And it starts with immediate benefit. Then slightly longer benefit. So we say, the child is intelligent. He didn't eat the sweet because we promise if you don't eat it, tomorrow you get double. All that trick of stupid psychologists. So everything I think of, do, touch, is for benefit. The ultimate benefit is to be present. It's not to accumulate it. There's nothing wrong in having some security for tomorrow's meal or whatever, or a roof. But where do you stop? Who is your reference? Who is the mirror? You see, so, وَسِرَاجًا مُنِيرًا. And if they leave you and run away, you are in the light. So take advantage of you being left. You're quiet. Enjoy it. Enjoy the perfect union with the source of unity. That's it. So it has to be existential, conduct related, and light upon light. If you take the light out of it, then it becomes boring Sharia. It becomes only Confucius. It brings stability, connectedness, essential, but not enough. Especially when there is welfare state as it is now, people are not desperate for supper. Now you need transcendence. The purpose of life is to be at one with the source of life, which is never ending. Once I know life doesn't end and my